Good afternoon, everyone. It is David Schlotthauer here with an update on your weather forecast because we are talking about a fairly active weather pattern over the next 7 to 10 days for many locations with very heavy rainfall and mountain snow to come for the western half of the US that could lead to more avalanche danger. Now, if you are new to the YouTube channel and you really like the detailed weather presentations, please consider subscribing if you're new, hitting the like button, and sharing this video with their family and friends on social media. And never forget to also check out my Weather Force Discord server. There is a link in the description below this video to that invite. So to start off this video, we are taking a look at the visible satellite imagery across the west because we have an atmospheric river of moisture that is really hitting California pretty hard here. We can see on the satellite imagery all this fetch of moisture here really streaming in over central California, over the northern portion of our state. This has been responsible for some periods of moderate to heavy rainfall. Surprisingly, there has not been a whole lot of wind, thankfully, with this, so that really mitigates any power outages or any downed trees, but a pretty good fetch of moisture here of atmospheric river is really taking a hit and taking a toll here, bringing some much needed rainfall for the valley, for the mountains, and for the Sierra in the way of snow and heavier rain up there. And this system offshore here is going to eventually collide with that existing moisture coming in from the south, and that's going to lead to some very heavy rainfall totals tonight that could exacerbate some of the flood concerns on small streams, rivers, and creeks, and some urban flooding is also possible. So the question is, what is Winter Storm Carly going to do when it gets over the Rockies? Is this going to be a cross-country winter storm by any means? Well, the answer is no as of right now. Most of the models have this really disintegrating after it gets past the Rockies because there's going to be some drier air that is going to come out of the north that's going to cancel out a lot of this atmospheric river moisture. We can see this on the GFS model for tomorrow morning with some very heavy mountain snowfall hitting California. Also a lot of valley rainfall, so flood concerns are now a higher probability because of how much rain we have had in a short amount of time. Get this, in the last 3 to 4 days, we have had over an inch of rain, maybe getting close to 2 inches of rain in some areas. And so an additional inch to maybe 3 inches of rain with this storm is going to really lead to some minor to moderate flood concerns here in California, and another maybe 4 feet of snowfall for the higher elevations. Then by the time we go into Monday, you can see really this system really disintegrates. There's really nothing left with it other than just a few snow showers from time to time across Montana. If you're in Wyoming, if you're in Utah, if you're in Nevada, if you're in Colorado, that's about all you're gonna see with this weather system. And then it continues all the way to Wednesday, really breaking apart. So it's not like we're gonna see a blockbuster snowstorm on the other side of the Rockies here. It's going to be having limited moisture because of all this cold air to the north, and it's going to bring a lot of drier air. And then going into Wednesday and Thursday, another system really tries to develop with some of the remnants of that atmospheric river moisture, but it's very light. We're only looking at light to moderate rainfall totals with this. Maybe a little bit heavier here if you are in the Tennessee Valley, but otherwise this is going to be a quick snippet for portions of northern Missouri. If you're in Illinois, it's going to be rolling through fairly quickly here, and then a secondary low tries to form by, say, Friday morning for portions of the Great Lakes into the Kentucky area and to Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and at the same time, there's another storm system that's going to slam the west again. California, if you're in Washington, Oregon, by Thursday and Friday, this looks to be a pretty substantial system that could bring another round of strong winds, light to moderate rainfall, maybe another half an inch to an inch of rain, another couple of feet of snow for the Sierra. This is really, really good news for a lot of the drought that is really impacting the west, what we call a mega drought, we should say. And so this is good news for a lot of residents that really love the rain, like the snow, but the wind and the colder temperatures that come with it might be a little nippy at times. Right, so there's a look at the snowfall for the west, and this continues all the way into, say, Friday. Mountain snowfall, gusty winds, much colder air on the wake of that system, by the way, for next weekend. That's December the 9th, the 10th, just colder air around. And so that's what we see going on. And then the pattern might turn a little more active here with another winter storm impacting the central plains with snow for the northern plains like the Dakotas and Minnesota region. And then another system, believe it or not, going to slam the west again. Northern California, Washington, Oregon. We're talking more really heavy mountain snowfall, more flood concerns because we're just getting storm after storm after storm. So we're going to really add on to a lot of the moisture at ground level. A lot of the soil moisture, the fuel's going to have a lot of moisture in them. So that's going to be good, at least for fire danger. It's going to really lower it down to literally no threats at all. So more rain for California, snow, wind, and cooler temperatures as that system moves into the Great Lakes and into the Northeast. And then going out to day 10, that's the furthest I go out with my videos, because when we get beyond 10 days, you're leaving the medium range forecasting kind of threshold and you're going into long range, which could be very, very, very uncertain. We could see a Fantasyland storm on one model run and then, well, where did it go, right? So not going to go beyond 10 days here. So there it is for Oregon, Washington, Northern California. More snow, more rain. That's good news. And more moisture here for portions of the upper Midwest and the deep South for Tuesday on the 13th of December. So that's a look at your weather pattern. Now let's take a look at how much rainfall you could actually see through the next 10 days. Now, I cannot stress this enough, please, that these rainfall totals are just a snapshot. Just take this with a grain of salt, folks, because model runs are going to change everything. If we look at the 06Z run, it's not the same like the 12Z run. If we look at the 0Z run from yesterday, it showed even more rain. So we got to look at these models and we got to see that, okay, so most of the runs are trending down a little bit on the rainfall totals here over, say, Arkansas, Tennessee. So the flood threat might be lessening a little bit, but still quite a bit of rain here, no doubt about it. In the next 10 days, maybe 5 to 6 inches of rain there throughout that period, with more needed rainfall and moisture for the west. Woohoo! We need it. We definitely need it. We got to get out of this drought. I don't think we'll get out of it this winter, definitely not, but at least it will tame it. It will really knock some edge or some, what do you call it? I forgot the word, but it will knock some sense off with the drought intensity. From exceptional probably to severe would really make all the difference. At least that would prevent us from rationing water here in California. As far as your snowfall totals go, quite a bit of snow. So we need the rain, we get that, but the snow is pretty critical here across the Cascades of Oregon, Washington, and California, because that's where we get a lot of our water during the spring runoff season. So that runs basically from about March all the way through June and July. As the season warms up, this snow up in the Sierra melts off gradually and we get that water supply in our reservoirs. So that's good news that we're going to possibly get maybe as much as another additional 2 to 4 feet. I'm just being a little optimistic on that just because 10 days out, if I said like 10 feet of snow in the next 10 days, you guys would be looking at me like, what the heck is David predicting here? Why is he saying that? Right? So I'm going to be on the lower end of side of things because the model runs here do change quite significantly. One run may show one thing and the next run shows another thing. We just don't have a set in stone forecast, never at 10 days out, okay? But either way, lots of snow for the Intermountain West, a little bit of snow in some regions there of the upper Great Lakes into the upper Midwest, as well as the Northern Plains and the New England region of the U.S. That includes for Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Quebec, Ontario, Canada over the 10-day period. Again, this is going to change. I have emphasized that way too much already in this video. So let's take a look here at now your temperatures. Things are going to be cold, especially with the snow on the ground. Just makes it even more colder than it really is outside. On top of that, we're going to see some breezy winds across the northern tier of the United States, and that's going to really set the stage for wind chill advisories at times, wind chill warnings perhaps. Yeah, when you get wind chill warnings, that typically means wind chill values are usually -45, -60 degrees. That can actually kill people if you don't take it seriously. So for Sunday morning, here's a look at your daytime or nighttime temperatures on the GFS model. This is our US GFS, in other words. We can see temperatures across the northern tier of the United States pretty nippy in the morning, starting off with temperatures in the single digits for some areas like Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, some of the higher elevations there of the Rockies in Montana, starting off with temperatures at least 0 degrees. That's pretty cold. All right, and then you're going to warm up a little nicely tomorrow with temperatures warming up into the mid to upper 20s, some low 30s the further south you go, but pretty chilly down there across Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, and Illinois. So not really warm tomorrow. Not going to feel all that great if you're doing any outdoor work because it's going to be fairly chilly. And temperatures don't change much. They are a little warmer by, say, Monday morning here with those nighttime lows in the lower 30s to middle 30s, with temperatures staying away from the negative territory, at least in the US. You have to go to Canada to really find the bite to those temperatures. Warming up nicely for the deep south like Texas by Monday, temperatures in the 70s and 80s there, with temperatures in the single digits and some 20s if you're in the northern tier of the US. Including for the west, temperatures are going to moderate a little bit for your Monday. Let's go into Tuesday, where the colder air comes on through again. So we start to lose the heat out there for Tuesday morning, with temperatures dropping down in the single digits the further north you go. Warmer, more Mediterranean air to the south, temperatures in the 60s, and then really warming up even more. Look at this, Florida and Texas. Gonna get some 80s out there. Doesn't feel nothing like meteorological winter at all, versus if you're in the northern tier of the US, that's a big temperature spread, by the way. Temperatures in the single digits during the day. Take a look at this. Temperatures might even get close to the negative territory by Wednesday morning there. Over the next 4 days, could get down to as low as -15 degrees. How about that? California also seeing some chilly temperatures Wednesday morning thanks to that colder air that's going to be in place, but it's only going to get much colder by next week as that cold front really slides in. You can see it right here. Temperatures for the higher elevations of the Sierra could definitely get down into the single digits and really not warming up very much because of that colder Arctic air mass that's going to be in place. So here's a look at your temperature anomalies here. I always like looking at these because that's what I like to do on this channel. So areas in the blue and green delicate to temperatures below average, while areas in the orange, red, and some gray colors and kind of the whole apricot kind of reddish colors do indicate temperatures are well above average. So these are your temperature anomalies, departures from normal. So let's take a look at this. So throughout the next 3 days, temperatures are going to be far above average for the deep south. That's for sure. You're not going to have any chance of probably wearing a jacket or a sweatshirt in the morning or even during the day because temperatures are going to be far above average. To the north, temperatures will be remaining below average, including the western half of the U.S., where it's been like that for much of November. We're starting off December on the same note. Throughout the next 5 days, temperatures in the deep south staying well above average. Temperatures anywhere between 15 to near 20 degrees above normal. So yeah, could definitely not feeling nothing like Christmas, nothing at all like the holidays. Feels like spring already. It's really never have felt like winter for too much there this year, and that's going to continue. Colder temperatures are going to continue back west with well above average temperatures probably through December the 11th and 12th because of this zonal flow that we have going on. It is not until after that we might see a pattern change, but that's for another day, right? We just too far out to make very accurate predictions on exactly how this is going to end up being. But as far as it looks now, through the next 10 days, temperatures will remain well above average all across the eastern seaboard with very little to no Arctic blasts, okay, for the first half of December. So here's a look now at our Jetstream, and I'm just going to go through this fairly quickly here. And we can see why that is. So through the next 3 days, we have this zonal flow. We have southwesterly flow here across much of the U.S. So there's going to be a lot of warm air advection constantly going on over this portion, the central eastern U.S., and that's going to lead to these warm daytime highs, and that's going to continue all the way through day 5, through day 6, day 7. It is not until maybe we get a little bit of a trough here that wants to bring in some cooler air with a very strong jet streak. If you all are asking me, is there any threat for severe weather by this time next week or for the weekend of December 10th and the 11th, sorry, stuttering there. The answer to that is probably not. I'm not very confident of any organized severe weather event just yet, but there is something on the models like this jet that we will have to watch closely on the evolution of that trough, because if that gets a little more organized, then maybe we do get an organized severe weather threat. But right now, the predictability is way too low to even forecast any organized severe weather threat at this time. And then the pattern might change a little bit. The jet stream turns more kind of out of the west-northwest, and that will drag in more cooler air than warmer air from the south. And that's why we might see a pattern change here evolving beyond the 8 to 10 day forecast. But again, that's very uncertain exactly how that's all going to evolve at this time. But if you want to get the latest as far as severe weather goes for your area, including updates on winter weather for your location and tropical weather outlooks and updates for the summertime, make sure you do hit that red subscribe button right now if you haven't already to get latest detailed updates as far as weather events go, live streams, everything you need to know, as well as hit the like button and share this video with your family and friends on social media, including please check out our Weather Force Discord server. There's a really awesome, beautiful Discord link in the description below this video where you can check that out. We welcome all new members to the server. That's the best place to hang out, and that's the best place to contact me for any live updates or any latest updates on these weather events. But anyways, thank you all for watching. Peace.